is finally realizing that under this president, the United States of America, is not going to be taken advantage of.
3 minutes ago, Karoline Leavitt loses ability to speak after Robert De Niro exposed trumph/youtube.be/_vij6 junior sxhs question mark c equals z9v20qxx78 ya z sure. Being pushed around sounds great, but that alone doesn't mean real progress is happening. It's like something out of a movie trailer, dramatic, but not always grounded in reality. Right now, America is caught in a struggle between truth and the lies being spread to cover it up. A lot of people are left confused by conflicting information, but sometimes it all comes down to protecting the interests of a small, powerful group. That's where Robert Dro comes in. He's the one pulling back the curtain and exposing what many major news outlets would rather keep hidden.
Being here in Toronto, it's an exciting project, and our partners are really terrific people, and hopefully we'll do things together too. And I just want to make a note of apology for the idiotic behavior of my president.
By apologizing for the president's foolish behavior. That's about as direct as it gets. Imagine an older Italian man sipping his cappuccino, looking around, and saying, "Look, I'm just as worn out as you are." This isn't some formal, polite apology, it's tired and a little bitter. What he's really saying is, yeah, us isn't exactly the brightest. He's not defending anyone, he's speaking for the frustration a lot of people feel. And when he said it, the crowd went wild, because finally, someone on the inside was admitting what so many have been thinking. For once, Hollywood dropped the performance and landed a real, honest punch that got everyone's attention. Next voice. Some people see Karoline Leavitt as a rising star in the MAGA crowd, but in reality, she comes off more like a fake flower, nice on the surface, but built from worn-out talking points and outdated slogans. She repeats the same phrases so often, it's like listening to a stuck record. People tune out. Robert Dro, on the other hand, isn't here to trade insults. He wants people to face what's really going on. He calls Leavitt a hologram built in Steve Bannon's basement, a symbol of old-school PR tricks and carefully planned media strategy. To him, she's not just a political opponent, she's part of a larger machine. This isn't just personal. It's a reflection of a deeper battle in America right now, a clash of ideas that's pulling the country apart.
Thank you. Can you direct traffic? Yeah, thanks.
Let's act like adults here. They are generously offering their time to answer your questions. You don't need to scream at them like a bunch of school children. Go ahead.
Do you know if Mr. Musk took the same oath that you and other senior advisors to the president took about adhering to the Constitution, following the law? Do you know if he took that oath?
I don't know the answer to that question, but like I told Caitlin, I can get back to you guys on that.
Although Trump a 3-star rating as Dero Mussolini might sound extreme at first, but based on his behavior and leadership style, it's a serious point. The argument is that Trump isn't your typical politician, he acts more like a mob boss, using fear and personal loyalty to hold power. Karoline Leavitt tries to push back on that claim, but her responses are filled with tired slogans that don't really hold up under scrutiny.
He knows what he's doing. This is a proven economic.
I hate bullies, thugs who use their strength to push other people around. They think they can achieve power and hang on to it by intimidating others. Sadly, sometimes it works, but most of the time it doesn't. And now we have Trump. This moment highlights a big truth about today's politics. Power often takes priority over truth. Most people don't get the chance to ask tough questions or get real access to the president. Instead, we hear polished sound bites crafted to shape public opinion, turning the media into a tool for those in charge. But Daryl pushes back. He calls out the media for what they've become, performers who sing the praises of power just to keep their spot at the table. It's a warning. Without accountability and transparency, we risk letting scripted narratives replace real truth. Next voice. Leavitt represents the fresh, confident, and energetic face of the new MAGA movement, but when it comes to real political debate, she falls short. Dario's simple question, "Do you know if he took that oath?" should have been easy to answer. Instead, Leavitt dodged it and gave an awkward reply. This moment exposed a larger issue. While young, MAGA voices bring passion.
they often lack the depth and maturity needed to handle serious political issues. Darrow didn't just point out the flaws in her argument, he showed that she doesn't fully understand the constitutional system she claims to defend. Her overconfidence is a perfect example of how a fast-tracked political rise, driven by emotion, but not backed by knowledge, is bound to fail.
It is a privilege to cover this White House. It's a privilege to be the White House press secretary. And nobody has the right to go into the Oval Office and ask the President of the United States questions. That's an invitation that is given. And there are hundreds of outlets on this campus, many of you in this room who don't have the privilege of being part of that pool every single day and getting to ask the President questions. To tariffs, the President has been very tough on China, not just now with 20% and more with the reciprocal tariffs that will hit on April 2nd. But look at what he did in his first term. There were billions of dollars worth of tariffs that he implemented on China, and it's telling that the previous administration did not rescind those tariffs because they realized the value that they had in not only deterring China, but also raising revenue here in the United States.
De Niro didn't just sit back, he spoke up. He called out Karoline's behavior directly. While her words sounded impressive, she had no solid facts to back them up, especially from the perspective of someone with real experience. Darrow stepped in to remind everyone that politics should be about reason and understanding, not who can shout the loudest. Watching someone with his background calmly say, "Let's act like adults and admit Karoline was just trying too hard to get attention," was both striking and refreshing. As a respected public figure, Darrow speaks the truth without worrying about fallout. He made it clear that Karoline's comments weren't just weak, they risked misleading a whole generation about what responsible leadership in America should look like.
Do you know if Mr. Musk took the same oath that you and other senior advisors to the president took about adhering to the Constitution following the law? Do you know if he took that oath?
I don't know the answer to that question, but like I told Caitlin, I can get back to you guys on that.
Darrow didn't hold back in his criticism of Trump and his supporters, calling out their careless talk and reliance on teleprompters. He saw that, even though Trump dominates the news cycle, he doesn't truly understand the serious issues facing the country. Darrow's message is clear: anyone who follows a political leader without valuing the truth needs to pay attention. He wasn't afraid to call out the problems in the system under Trump's leadership and warned that this kind of behavior can't go on forever without a heavy price to pay.
Mr. The president said he wants to...
Yeah, thank you. Can you direct traffic? Yeah, thanks.
Let's act like adults here. They are generously offering their time to answer your questions. You don't need to scream at them like a bunch of school children. Go ahead.
Darrow's view went beyond just criticism. He showed how Trump's supporters blindly believe his claims about the economy. He pointed out that Trump isn't just misleading Americans, but people around the world as he keeps bragging about his achievements. Darrow made sure the truth stayed front and center. Instead of letting empty numbers and meaningless statements stand, he exposed the problems in Trump's claims. He reminded everyone that politics isn't about empty promises, it demands a deep understanding of both national and global issues. Next voice.
Or are you able to just kind of riff on your thoughts on him?
Yeah, he's so stupid.